Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Bearded Man Chronicles. This is your boy KJ, and this is episode 10. Um, Red flags in a relationship. So we missing a couple people this week. As you know, I have a panel. Two people's on actually on vacation. So me and Shay gonna rock it out tonight. So by further ado, let's welcome Shay to the show. What's up? What's
Hey,
up?
nothing much. What's going on with you?
Not just the two of us.
Just the two of
Right.
us.
What's going on, good peoples? What's going on? Please, guys, be sure to share. If you're on Facebook, please be sure to share this. Thank you. We greatly appreciate it. So, you ready for this topic? Because I'm sure we got some. I think
I'm
we all
all
can.
nervous and jittery inside.
You said what?
I'm all nervous and jittery inside.
Uh-huh. That's because you know your ass is toxic. Red flag, red flag. All right. So as you guys know, we always start off with an icebreaker. So, let's see what I'm trying to see what I'm gonna do. Okay, is there's if there's one thing that you regret in life, what is it? I'll start and I give you time to think. Even though I've graduated with my master's, I regret not attending an HBCU.
Hmm.
That's one of the that's something I've always wished that I've done, which is graduate from HBCU. But hey, I still got a chance. So when I go back for my doctorate, I can,
I was getting ready to say that.
yeah, I can still do it. But that's one thing I've always regret not graduating from a historical black college. What about yourself?
I think I regret not finishing school for a physician's assistant. I started
Nice.
going at Wayne State back in 2001. And I got accepted into the program, but I decided not to do it because it was an 8 year plus program. So, yep,
Okay.
I decided not to do it.
It's
That's the only
funny.
thing I regret.
Wow. Okay. That's funny you said that because I've always wanted to go for a physician assistant myself and specialize in dermatology. And you and I
Really?
never talked about this. So to hear this, you saying
Wow.
that, wow. Wow, wow, wow. What's up, guys? What's up, YouTube? What's up, Facebook? If you're on Facebook, please be sure to share this live. What's up, Elijah? This Yeah, I see Elijah in the comments. Um, so yeah, you guys, if you comment, then I can see your name. If you don't comment, we can't see who's here. So this is episode 9, red flags in a relationship. Catching flights or feelings.
Ugh.
So
I'm gonna say feelings for me.
okay. So listen, as you guys know, there's many red flags in a relationship. Um, it can be from arguing, disagreements, being jealous, alcohol or substance abuse. There's a lot of things. Work ethic, finances, everything. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna break it down. Um, let's start with communication. What is a red flag off the jump for you as it relates to communication?
Lack of communication. A
Hmm.
lot of people believe that the only time you are to communicate is when you disagree, and that's a red flag off the jump. You need to know how to communicate. So I think communication is probably one of the biggest red flags that you can see immediately when you start dating someone. Immediately.
Okay, okay. One thing um that I look at is how do we handle disagreements? Are we listening to each other? Or are you so quick to get your point across that you missing what I'm saying? So to me, that's one thing I look. How do we handle conflict? You know, I look to see if if the person is being combative. Because that's important in this relationship. In a relationship, you got to be able to communicate effectively. I'm looking to see how can we handle disagreements, making sure that it's not combative, etc. So that's one thing that I look for in a relationship, how we resolving certain things. Tell me about a time Is there one thing? Well, how about this? Tell me about a time that you felt one or two situations you shouldn't have been in it, but you did. What's up,
Oh,
Dapper? What's up,
that's a thousand situations. Um, Speaking relationship wise, correct.
Yes.
I was dating this young lady who I know for a fact I shouldn't have been dating. She gave me all the red flags up front, and she was very abrasive and aggressive. And I kind of thought at first it was cute, and eventually 3 years down the road, well, actually not even 3 years down the road, maybe a couple of months down the road, me getting with her, she became very abusive, and I stayed with her for 3 years. So it was definitely a huge red flag for me in the beginning. But sometimes you believe that you can change people, or you can make them not be the way they are. And that was the biggest red flag for me, but I ignored it. And I believe a lot of us tend to ignore those red flags that God knows He smacks us in the face with them. We just tend not to pay attention to them. I think we can love the hell out of people, literally.
Do you think more people fall in love with the person, or would you say more people fall in love with the person's pain?
Mm. Well, it's too. I don't know. It takes. That's
You know,
different people. I fell in love with my ex's pain.
right.
I didn't fall in love with her. So when
Mm,
I originally met her, I fell in love with all the hurt and the trauma that she had experienced. And I just wanted to almost like take it away. So I really never got to know her because she introduced me to the dark side of her. And I immediately saw an opportunity for me to allegedly fix it. But
right.
it was red flags that it was just all over the place. And I didn't pay attention to it.
Wow.
So, what was your time?
Um, shit, all of it was red flags. You know, going into it was a red flag, but I can remember this one in particular. Um, I don't even think we had made it to 2 months, but like the second, third week, we just kept arguing, and they just kept challenging me. I kept challenging them, and we just kept going back and forth. And I'm like, wait a minute, we didn't even have a honeymoon phase. You know, you just get when you just meeting somebody, you know, you have that honeymoon phase where
Yeah,
we shouldn't even be arguing. And when I tell you it was like a smackdown showdown,
yeah,
it could be anything. You know, I'm gonna call back in 10 minutes. If I call back in 15, oh, you must have been cheating. I'm like, yeah, this toxic. This shit is toxic. And I still tried to stay, and the shit didn't work, so it failed. Ultimately, it failed. So I think a lot of times we see these writings on the wall, but we fail to trust our gut and go with what we feel. We still try to see, well, yeah, I can change them, or I can show them that I love them, but sometimes you just gotta leave well enough alone. Um, how important you think is mismatch relationship goals? Do you think that when I say mismatch relationship goals, meaning two people not being on the same accord, what's your personal perspective on that?
well, when you say two people not being on a mismatch goals,
Hmm.
and then two people not being on the same page, those are two different things to me.
Okay.
Mismatch goals can be, I want to be a truck driver and they want to be eyebrows, esthetician. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So that's two different goals, but we're still aiming for a goal. Then you have someone who's on a different page
Right.
where they don't want to work. They are not interested in growth. They're not interested in being moving to the next level. Then that's two different things. So as far as being with someone who doesn't have the same drive, or is not willing to go to the next level, yeah, that's not healthy, and I don't think you'll get anywhere. However, someone who has a vision but may not see the picture the exact same way as you. I think that's an opportunity for growth and challenge, to somewhat maybe get the same vision if that's necessary. Every relationship doesn't require a person. Some people don't want that. You
Right.
know, some people desire people who are on a different level than them or on a different page than them. Everybody, and we just spoke about this
We
literally
did.
earlier today.
We did. We did.
And that's funny that I just said this. I had that aha moment
Right.
that you and I had this conversation.
We
So
did.
I don't think it's that. It depends on the person.
Right. So I knew that this topic was going to be broad, so I brought a lot of statistics to this conversation. So according to mentalhealth.org, Dr. Walsh stated that if your relationship goals are at odds, this could be a sign that it's time to walk away.
Really?
Yes. So I find that very interesting. She also stated that while this is less of a red flag in the sense it's a personal issue to work on, it's a red flag for the future of your relationship. So she's stating if you guys have mismatched goals, then that's a red flag to get the hell on.
I think when she says mismatch goals, she's speaking of a person, like I said, where they may not want to grow where you want to grow.
That's
You
an
know what I'm
issue.
saying? Yeah. But like my goal may be to finish school in 4 years. Your goal may be to finish it in six. I don't think that that should necessarily make a deem us not compatible and doomed because we don't have the same goal. I guess I'm looking at it a little bit different.
Yeah, I'm looking at it like you want to stay here in Michigan. I want to move to Texas. If you don't want to move, that's a red flag. That's something. There's really no. If I know that I want to move and I don't want to stay in this particular location, if you sold on this location, I might as well kind of get out of it now because you're telling me now you don't want to move. So to me, that's a mismatch goal for me. If it's something that I want to do and you're not willing to relocate, to me that's a red flag. That's a mismatch goal to me. I don't know what you guys thinking is out here in the comments. What's up, D? What's going on? Art, what's up, Elijah? What's going on? Elijah said, I agree on this, all of this above. He said, yes, yes. Uh, it won't work if it's mismatch relationships, just a headache and stress, and it's an unhealthy situation. I most definitely agree with that. 100% agree with that. Um, let's talk about the lack of emotional intimacy. Let me read
Yeah, read this
another
one for
let
me.
me read another statistic for you guys. So according to mentalhealth.org, it says one of the best parts of being in a romantic relationship is connecting deeply and authentically with another person. For some, intimacy is challenging, but it should always be the goal. A partner who shows no interest in opening up and bonding and a deaf note for a relationship is a red flag. Not showing vulnerability.
Yes, so vulnerability to me comes with time. You have to trust somebody to be vulnerable and open to expose them to whatever it is that you're vulnerable about. So I don't think that, if a person doesn't automatically come in, opening up and exposing everything to you means that it's in the end of all. But I do believe that comes with trust. You know what I'm saying? How many times have you met somebody and you may have told them one thing, but waited till you guys got closer and was saying, you know what, I wanted to tell you, but I wasn't comfortable enough to tell you that one of my toes was longer than the other. You know what I'm saying? So you got to feel comfortable.
You don't think that's misleading though? I,
It depends on what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's something serious where it is something that I should be told up front. Like if I was born a man and I had a sex change, you know what I'm saying? I feel like yes, that's something you should tell
oh yeah,
someone.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
If I am bipolar and I'm on medicine and I decided not to take it, I don't want to take it anymore. That's something that you should tell someone.
But
But
is that
it
HIPAA? Isn't that kind of like that
no,
situation where
no,
that's
that
medical history and you don't think? I don't know about that. I don't know. I think that's
what.
situation. Well, I would want to know because I dated somebody, and I'm like, damn, what's wrong with them? You know, they was always sitting in the dark,
Exactly.
and learned that they suffered from they was manic depressant, and I realized it was nothing I can do. They refused therapy. They was half-ass taking their medicine. So at that point, I'm like, well, what do I do? You know, I felt like helpless, and I think that's this may sound contradictory because now that I think about it, I think everything should be disclosed up front, and that you
Yes.
let that person choose if they want to be bothered with it or not. I understand you may feel like, well, I don't want to tell them because they're going to frown upon me, or they may not like me. But still, you have to let them make that decision. It doesn't make sense to mislead them because guess what? Eventually, they're gonna find out. So you might as well just go ahead and let a person know who you are up front and just get it out the way.
I can't see the comments because I'm not on my computer, so I'm
Okay.
kind of looking from my phone as well.
Um, Art said in time you should discuss that. Okay.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
because that's a part of somebody feeling vulnerable.
Right. D said at that, and that's something that's in red to know from the gate. Oh, he said typo. He said I would need to know that from the gate.
Yes,
I agree. See,
yes.
I totally agree with that. I just
Both
think
of
that's
those scenarios you definitely need to know up front. But however, I may have something like, well, I didn't graduate from high school, but or I don't have a diploma, I got a GED. That's not nothing that you necessarily have to tell somebody up front, especially if you're successful in life and you're doing well for yourself. I don't necessarily have to disclose to you that I have a GED instead of a diploma. It's not gonna hurt our relationship one way or the other. So it just depends on, what I'm saying, that person. To me, that's just my personal opinion.
again, I still feel like, I mean, no, that's not a red flag to leave somebody, but I would be like, well, why didn't you disclose that to me? Or you don't think it's important?
The
The whole
diploma?
G, yeah.
No, I don't think that. Again, if I am successful
Mm-hmm.
and I have all my things together, I'm not wanting for anything. I don't think that's a something that I have to disclose up front. It's not as serious as telling you that I'm on medication for a disorder in my personality.
Mm-hmm.
Or if to me, I live with my mom, that's something that I need to disclose up front because that could potentially affect our relationship if you're looking for someone who lives on their own or is kind of self-sufficient. It just depends on the person.
Okay. Do you believe that sometimes the initial red flags in a relationship is something that can possibly pass over?
Um, It's yes and no. Yes, because some red flags, because you don't know that person, you're going off of history or your own experiences can be a red flag, but that person actually could be totally opposite from the experiences that you've already experienced. So I would say it depends on the person again.
Okay. Okay. Let's see what the comments are saying. Um, Hey, what's up, Young Wolf? What's going on? D said, if I'm a master's degree holder and and a successful individual, and you hold a GED or something that we can't discuss, why can't we discuss this in the beginning?
I
Hmm.
didn't say that people can't discuss it. I just said that some people, I don't feel this is a red flag if someone doesn't disclose this to you in the beginning. I
Okay.
don't think that it will affect your relationship or the outcome of your relationship because someone hasn't got. I don't care if you own have a PhD. You can have 8 of them. It doesn't matter. If this does not to me, it doesn't to me. It has no direct effect on your relationship if you have someone who is successful in their career and self-sufficient. If I tell you I don't have a diploma, I have a GED when we first meet, what difference does it make if I'm successful? Besides me just telling you.
Okay.
Now, me not having a car, me living with my mom, me not having a job. Those three things are a direct effect on your relationship immediately,
Okay.
depending
Okay.
on the person. That's all I'm
So
saying.
so if it doesn't impact you immediately, then it shouldn't really. It's no red
To
flag
me, it's not a red flag. I don't have to disclose that to you because it doesn't affect us. You know,
because
to
you're
me.
successful. Okay. Okay.
You know, I'm self sufficient. I hold my own self, and this is not me. I actually have a diploma and a degree, but this was an example. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just, I just think that sometimes it just depends. And then you have some really anal people
Hmm.
where, God forbid, they have a master's. Jesus Christ, the world should bow down to them and hail to the, you
Hey,
know.
look, shit. I work my ass off, so bow down. No, I just- no. So let's shift it in this direction. What about alcoholism and
Yes.
drug addiction?
Yes. Whether you're currently going through it and whether you are a survivor of it, that is something that needs to be disclosed. And I say why, because I need to know if you are a recovering alcoholic so that I'll know how to move with myself when I'm drinking, that I'm not tempting you to partake in something like that. So that can directly affect our relationship. So it's good to say, hey, I am a recovering alcoholic, and I don't drink anymore. So now I know, one, can I be with this person because I love to drink? Or two, can I be with them, but I have to somewhat limit my exposure or their exposure to what I enjoy doing. You know what I'm saying? It just depends.
So I have to agree with you. Um, but what is a okay? So is the red flag knowing that they had a past addiction and you notice that they may be drinking too much? If they had a past addiction to alcohol
Hmm.
and you notice that they drinking too much, would that be a red flag for you, or is that like a
Well,
you
yeah,
know?
that's a red flag,
Hmm.
but I think it's a red flag if that person doesn't disclose that to you.
Hmm.
And I think it's a red flag if they disclose it to you and they're partaking in it, saying, hey, I'm a recovering alcoholic, right? But then we go out and I see you throwing them back. Or I come over to your house and you have empty bottles up under your bed or in your bathroom. That's a
Okay.
red flag to me.
So the comment saying that's it says try not to be prejudiced towards someone. So they said I guess they saying don't be so judgmental or be prejudiced against something they had in the past. So what if they had this addiction?
Wait, read the comment. What was it?
It says Young said most people can't control their liquor. Most
Mhm.
people. Okay. Art said trying. He said trying not to prejudice someone. I guess basically he's saying that try not to, I guess, pretty much judge someone that have had a past. So what if they had a drug addiction, but they don't smoke or do anything? Should if because they don't know, they no longer have these issues or anything, should they disclose that in the beginning?
Well, let's jump back to the first part,
Hmm.
the prejudiceness. I don't, when I say I wouldn't do it in front of them, it's to help them,
Yeah.
it's not to judge them.
Hmm.
So if a person told me they was an alcoholic, a recovering alcoholic, by respect, if I'm talking to them, I'm going to respect the fact that they're a recovering alcoholic. And I'm not going to drink in front of them because I don't want to tempt them. It's definitely not judging them
Okay.
because I'm gonna respect their struggle, and I would never
Exactly.
put that in their face. Now, to judge them is to say I'm not going to date them because they're a recovering alcoholic, and I don't want to partake in that at all.
That might be a
To
red
me,
flag to me though. If
what?
I know that you was previously, I don't know, to me, on drugs or had an alcohol thing, that might be a red flag to me because what not everybody, but what if you relapse?
And it could be a red flag, and you are 1,000% okay
Hmm.
with saying for you that is a red flag. but
Or
it may not be a red flag for everyone. Some
yeah.
people are built to deal with if this person does relapse. I'm okay. I'm okay at that. And I can deal with that. Everyone
Mm,
isn't able to do that. So you may think it's a red flag for you. However, some people may say it's okay. I can deal with it. Me, I wouldn't necessarily think it was a red flag.
okay. Let
Nope.
me read what the statistics say. The stat says drinking daily or drinking until inebriation a few times a week can be a red flag for a drinking problem. So if you winding down every day and you drinking, you having maybe 2 drinks a day, um, they they say that that's a red flag. Drinking daily or drinking until inebriation a few times a week can be a red flag for a drinking problem. It says reliance on drugs to get you through the day, the week, or through tough spots in your life is also concerning, including weed, marijuana.
Concerning, again, that's people's
These statistics.
personal, these are people's personal opinions. I would not be concerned if my girlfriend drank a glass of wine every day after work. That would not concern me. I am not concerned if my partner smokes weed every day. That doesn't concern me. That doesn't make me feel that it's a red flag that they're addicted to anything, that they're alcoholic in any way or drug abuser in any way. However, there are people in the world that would say and disagree with me. And for me, it would take a lot for me to say this person has an addiction, but or it's a red flag. But I definitely wouldn't automatically assume red flag just because they say, "Hey, I take a glass of wine every day." No.
You know what would be a red flag for me? If they smoking weed, and if they not smoking weed, they smoking a cigarette, and if they not smoking a cigarette, they smoking a vape. Because now I feel like you're dependent on something. So to me, that would be a red flag, not only concerning for me, because I'm like, why do you have to have this like this particular vice? But to me, that may be a red flag because if you're not doing the marijuana and then you're doing a cigarette and you're doing a vape, what's next? Is it going to be crack? I don't know, because my thing is you constantly doing one thing. If it ain't the one thing, it's another. If it's not
But what
this,
would make that a red flag? So okay, it's a red flag. We know that. But what are you concerned about?
I'm concerned in what's next. Because if I know that you smoke weed daily and all of a sudden you run out of weed, you're like, oh, I need something, and then you go to cigarettes. Well, if you don't have no cigarettes, then now you're going to vape. I think if you don't have any of those things that you normally partake in, what if it's? I mean, are you going to go to something else? Like
So
that would
you're worried
be.
about the dependency on a substance.
Well, you're already dependent. I feel like you're dependent on something because you have to smoke. I'm saying, what is the next thing you're going to try to do? If you're doing the marijuana, then the vape pen, and then you're doing the cigarettes, like what's next?
So you're worried about them just repeatedly using a substance, or it doesn't matter what it is. You just
What
got
it
to go to
is, you just
something.
gotta smoke something.
Yeah, but I doubt it if you ever run into anybody like that you're dating. So
Let's go to the comments. D said yes, they have a present and past addiction. Art said right. D said it should be for everyone. D said why is that not concerning? What part is that, D? D said because you have a codependency. Yeah, that would be.
oh, he's probably saying when I said that it's not concerning to me that they take a glass of wine every day. I don't look at people like that, and that's the crazy part. Like I'm so far from a judgy person. Like I allow people to be who they are. I don't take every little crick and cranny and try to dissect it and figure out people and I don't do all of that. In my relationships, I enjoy people for who they are. And
Mhm.
if it comes to that point where it appears that they're addicted to something, then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I'm not going to automatically assume this because this is what they enjoy doing.
D said it's not a worry. It's a direct understanding. Um, Art said drinking not a problem if they can handle it.
Yeah.
Hmm. So as long as they can handle it, then it's not a red flag. Even though they are, say they're getting drunk every day to the point where they're inebriated, but they not like, you have some drunks that are rambunctious and loud and disrespectful. What if they just pass out on the couch, but they get drunk every day and pass out on the couch, and they still manage to get up and go to work? That wouldn't be a red flag for you.
That would be concerning to me, but I'm almost certain by the time they've made it to that part, like, listen, if it's somebody I've been with for a long time, then I guess I would have to. I've never experienced that before. I've never experienced it before, so it's really hard for me to speak on that. And I definitely don't want to offend anyone that's on our show to if they are struggling with any
Mhm.
addiction,
Of
to make
course.
them feel less than a person or make them feel like they can't get help or anything. So alcoholism, drug abuse, those are things that you have to kind of be in that situation to understand it.
Hmm.
And you have to have been in love with someone who's going through that to know how you would respond to if they became addicted to alcohol or drugs or whatever. So that's a touchy subject that I definitely don't want to offend anybody about.
So, but what? Okay, so just say that these are things you see in the beginning, not necessarily, um, you've been dating and it happened. These are early signs. We're talking about early signs, like the very beginning of the relationship. Is that
That they're drinking and they pass out on the couch every day after work.
yeah? But they going to work. They're not missing work. But you notice that they are drinking to the point where they're drunk. They're passing out on the couch.
Me personally, I probably would not continue talking to them.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, in the
You went
beginning.
in the beginning. Okay. Um, what about trying to help them?
I would mention it, like if they were willing to say or admit maybe they had an issue or they wanted some help, or if they just said they was cool, this is what they do.
Hmm.
Don't worry about me. I function. I pay my bills. I don't have no problems. You worried
Yeah.
about the wrong thing. I
Right.
will probably walk away.
Oh man, let's go to the comments. Art said it is leading to a harder substance. Diaz said he's laughing his ass off. DeAndre said I feel that D said you should be considered an enabler by the time the concern come and now they are offended. And Art said a functioning alcoholic. Like
What was the second one? Can you put them up when you read them so I can read them?
which one? Oh, which hold on. This one here. Can you see it?
She should be considered an enabler, and by the time the concern comes, is now they are offended. I don't understand that, D. Explain to me what you're trying to say.
Yeah, kind of elaborate on what you mean. He's Art said a functioning alcoholic. Well, functioning alcoholic, whether you function or not, that's a red flag for me because I mean that's just something I'm gonna have to continuously deal with, um, and that's not something I'm trying to deal with every day, though. You know what I mean? I
Right,
would want to
right,
deal with that every day. Uh, what about an obsession with social media? Is that a red flag? Maybe somebody who always want to post or you guys get into it. They run into social media, posting your business, putting their feelings, putting their heart out there. Some people wear their heart on their sleeve and they put it on social media. Is that a red flag?
right. Yeah, it is. It is. It's a red flag.
It's a
To be
red flag.
honest, yeah,
Why?
it
Why
is.
is it a red flag?
Because anything that happens in your life that's private, you already know it's not going to be private. So it doesn't matter what it is that you guys are going through. You get into a fight, they on Facebook, and it's embarrassing, especially at our age. It's extremely embarrassing to deal with someone like that. And I just wouldn't want any parts in it. So most definitely a red flag for me. If it happened in the beginning and I saw it, yeah, I would say at some age, statistically speaking, after 40, there are things about an adult you cannot change, period. And that's statistics. So I'm not going to try to change someone to make them not wear their emotions on their sleeve and go to Facebook every time we get into it. So yeah, it'll be a definitely quick hard no for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll leave them where I found them.
Wow. Art said, "Are they willing to change?" And DeAndre said, "Define obsession." So someone that's obsessive, just say if you going out to dinner, they have their phone. They waking up in the morning on their phone. You're spending some quality time together. They on their phone. Um, I wouldn't necessarily. The part that would get me is what's keeping you so tied to that phone. Is it something in that phone I don't know? Is it something on social media or communication that's been exchanged? Like, yeah, that would most definitely for me be a red flag. Uh, DeAndre said, "What if they post had nothing to do with their relationship?"
Well, you just said that if they was running to social media, posting all your business, posting your relationship,
Hmm.
posting your fights. So this was what you asked.
Hmm.
If it's pertaining to what you asked, it's a no. DeAndre, if they're posting regular stuff like shirts, gym shoes, funny memes, I don't care. But if it's pertaining to what KJ asked, which was posting personal business, our relationship, arguments, and fights, then no. It's a hard no.
Okay, so what if they're not posting about the relationship, but they have an exception to social media? They always on it.
I'm
You know,
always on social media.
so
Always.
but you was a red flag though. You a red
um,
flag.
I'm always on social media. I post funny memes. I watch videos. I
Talking
laugh.
about
I
you.
look at other people's stuff. But my girlfriend necessarily doesn't like it all the time. But this is something that I was doing before I met her,
Okay.
and it's innocent. I don't post any of our personal business, and I enjoy it. So I'm not gonna stop doing it.
Okay. Um, what about controlling this?
Controlling this is definitely a red flag. Definitely a red flag because we're adults and no one wants to be controlled.
Hmm. Okay.
You shouldn't want to control anyone as an adult because I don't think any adult wants to be controlled. So therefore, it's almost a turn off immediately
Hmm.
when you have someone who's obsessive with the control thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
What about persistent jealousy?
red flag, a hard no.
But wait. Everybody have jealousy in them. That is a natural. I guess it depends on the
Did you
level of
say
jealousy.
obsessive jealousy?
No, persistent
Oh, persistent
jealousy.
jealousy. Okay. Even with that, no, the red flag, because you can't be consistently jealous about stuff and just always jealous over and over it. Everything. My mom called me, you mad. You call me, you mad. My best friend called you mad. It's no one wants to deal with that. That's annoying.
Okay.
That's extremely annoying.
So let me read what the statistic says. It says another common red flag is jealousy and distress. Often the red flag is a very insecure partner, looks like attentiveness at the start of the relationship, but there's an underlying control problem beneath all of the attention. Later in the relationship, it's easier to look back and respond and pay close attention to the overboard, desperate insecurity. Um, I don't know. I think everybody have there's a level of jealousy. Everybody have a level of jealousy. Even if you going out somewhere, you're going with your friends, and just say, if I feel like you got on something provocative, um, just because I don't say nothing and act on it, I could still be enraged or whatever. As soon as you leave, I could be throwing stuff all over the room, knocking holes in the wall, but I don't show
Well, you got issues, okay? You
you.
need to give your own self a red flag.
I think there's a natural jealousy, but I do believe there's a level of um there's levels to the jealousy. Now, if I'm going out and then I'm pulling up at home and I see you hiding behind a bush, or if I tell you that I'm going to eat somewhere and then all of a sudden you come in, I think that's a little extreme, or
That's crazy.
yeah, yeah. That's a he said that's a whole red flag. So I think in that
That's cray cray.
case, that
Okay.
yeah, most definitely that's something that I would red flag. What are some other things that we didn't discuss that you would say is a red flag?
You took all mine: communication, alcohol, drug use. I thought even about aggressive sex is to me a red. Then it's to me a red flag. And when I say aggressive, I'm not talking about a little spank here and there, but then again, it's levels to it. When we say what's a red flag for you, I'm not into bondage and all of that stuff. So to me, that would be a red flag and that would be a no for me because we would get into a relationship and eventually our relationship wouldn't work. Why? Because you were into things that I wasn't into, and that was a red flag for me. So I wouldn't date nobody that explained different things when it came to sex that I wasn't interested in.
Well, I think that should be discussed in the beginning.
Yes.
Asking people is there certain fetishes that you are into and stuff like that. If that's something that you're not into, but what if they say that that's a plus but not a must? Would that still sway your decision, or do you think eventually they're gonna want to be knocking you up the head to the headboard and stuff and throwing
I
you up the ceiling?
I think it's continuously levels. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? And people want to move higher and higher and higher. And if I'm a basic girl that just likes regular sex and you want to do handcuffs, chains, and whips, and I don't want to do that. I'm not interested in that. I don't need you to try to turn me on to that. If
Hmm.
I tell you that's not what I want, that's just not what I want. And at my age or at a certain age, you kind of know what you want. So if you're interested in that, then cool. I wouldn't, it would be a red flag for me because that's nothing I'm interested in.
Okay.
But for everybody else, they may be interested in that, vice
Okay.
versa.
Art said he disagreed with the stats.
Of what?
Uh, I guess I don't know which one, but he disagreed with the
Okay.
stats. DeAndre said, maybe constant aggressive sex. Uh, I'm gonna get to your question now, Clarence. That was his response to Clarence. Clarence asked a very specific question. He said, "Question: How do you guys feel about your partner getting FaceTime calls at 11:30 at night?"
From who?
Yeah,
From
from
who? From me? From his mama? Like, I need to
or
know
just
from who.
period. Is that? I mean, is it a friend? Is it family, or just in general? That's a very specific question.
Yeah, I definitely need to know who he talking about. It better be his mama in the hospital, okay? She better be in the piddle.
I,
Because if
I
she's in the
mean,
piddle, somebody getting socked.
a so-called friend.
Clarence, you got to be more specific. A so-called alleged friend. Is it a girl, guy? What's going on? You got to give us some information.
I don't know because I call my friends FaceTime after whatever time. I mean,
1 o'clock.
huh?
1 o'clock.
I will call you.
Yes, you have 12 o'clock,
Yeah. I
midnight.
mean, what's the difference?
Yeah.
I mean, what? That's not a red flag, though. trying to get some bones. Trying to collect these bones. It's
It is
bone
too
time.
late to gossip,
Yeah,
okay?
it's bone time. But if it's somebody that you think that should not be calling your partner at a certain time, I think that's a conversation to be held. Also, that might be, and if they don't want to talk about it, that most I wish I had some red flags here so I can hold up a red flag.
I
That
got
would
some
be
red lipstick. I'm gonna walk it across the camera every time somebody say something that's crazy. Okay.
But yeah, if it's you know what's a red flag to me?
What?
If you always have your phone down, or if your phone is always off
No,
or on
no,
silent mode, that's a red
no,
flag to me, because you hiding some
no,
shit.
you're not.
Yes, you are.
No, you know why you're not? I am 1000% legit. Well, maybe not 1000. I'm damn sure close to it. And
Allegedly.
and I keep my phone turned down all the time because one, I don't want to crack my screen because Apple phones are stupid. Two, I
Bullshit.
keep my phone bullshit, really. And I keep my phone on silent because I'm in meetings all day. So by the time I get home, I forget it's on silent. It's face down so the screen doesn't crack or water doesn't get on it. And then that's it. So most people do the same exact thing.
That's a
That
red
doesn't mean
flag.
you're a cheater.
If your phone is always on, and your phone, you notice, okay, for instance, your phone is on all throughout the day, so you notice at nighttime it's on silent, or it's on do not disturb. I don't know. I can see if you're trying to sleep. I don't know. To me, that's low key.
I
You
think that's
hiding some shit.
paranoid. And the fact that you act like that, that's a red flag. That's controlling.
No, I'm not
That's
saying that I act like
dictatorship.
that, but I just
Okay?
think that's I just think that's a conversation to be held. Like, damn, your phone is always down, or yeah,
Control.
you think that's controlling?
Dictating. Dictating and
Mm,
controlling. Because my
interesting.
thing is, this is my phone. And at the end of the day, I can do whatever I want with my phone. And if you feel that I'm cheating or doing something I don't have no business doing, let's be clear. It's 2022. People can cheat so many ways where they don't even need a phone no more. They can
DeAndre
have a
said that's
whole nother
paranoia,
phone. That's paranoid. Thank you.
but okay. So you don't think it's a red flag to have your phone just always on silent, and on do not disturb?
No, my phone's on silent all the time. Like I said, like today, when I got home, I missed like 3 phone calls because I was literally in meetings from the time I walked in the door at 9 o'clock until the time I left my job at 5 o'clock. But on my way home, my phone plays through my speaker, so it rings automatically, ring automatically. So I would never know that my ringer's off. I get home, I take a shower, my ringer's off. I get to talking to my girlfriend. I forget my ringer's off. So that doesn't mean that you're a cheater because your ringer's off and your phone's on do not disturb. It just depends on your job, I guess, too. I mean, it depends on the person.
All right, Larry said his phone is on silent all the time. I don't know.
Larry, are you a cheater?
Y'all hiding something. Yeah, listen, y'all hiding something. Something ain't right in that buttermilk. This is my phone. Is DeAndre said my phone is always on silent. Mine is always on. I look at that. To me, I look at things like that. Is that is that considered a red flag? I
Yes.
think yeah, yeah, it's a red flag. But again, somebody like you said, it might be it's a control issue. I wouldn't look at it like a control. What about finances?
I knew you was gonna
What
bring
if
it up. I knew it. That's why I didn't even write it down. I was shocked you hadn't already talked about it. I
say,
knew
hey, look,
finances was gonna come up. That's a whole nother hour.
say the best for last. What about poor spending habits? What if they make great money, but they just poor spending habits? Is that a red flag in the beginning of a relationship?
If they're taking care of, so they can have poor spending habits, good credit, bills paid, but just spend frivolous money and buy frivolous shit stuff they don't need. As
DeAndre
long
said
as
that's not a red flag.
Right, as long as they take care of their responsibility, they're not asking you for money. They pay their bills. They have a place to live, a house, a car, and a good job, or a job that can you supply their needs and wants.
Hmm.
They don't have nothing to do with you. Let them spend. Nothing to do with you.
Okay. DeAndre said that's something that can be fixed.
Exactly.
Uh, Elijah said that don't bother me if your phone is face down. If you reject a call when you're with me, that's a red flag. But phones being face down, this is but phones be face down, but I won't answer it. I would tell you who it is, and I don't want to talk. Yeah, that's yeah. My thing is, if it's somebody you want to talk, why not just pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm busy, such and such, such and such. But when you constantly rejecting calls and stuff like that, um, what if they're not good with paying bills? Or
Of course, it's a red flag.
what if they spend all their money on something that they want to do, but then they constantly asking you for money to get them
Red flag.
alcohol? Red
Red,
flag.
red
Okay.
flag. I mean, those are common sense red flags. You know what I'm saying? You know those are people who may need a little like I think that was DeAndre that said that can be fixed.
Hmm.
I do believe there are things in life that you can teach someone how to be, even at 50. I think managing money is that thing where you can teach someone at any age how to do that. So I don't think it's a red flag, but it's something that can be fixed. It's not a deal breaker.
Okay. So what about impulsive spending?
I'm impulsive. I just
Red
impulsively went
flag.
something.
Red flag. Red
I,
flag.
I
That's a red flag.
impulsively went spending today
It's
after
a
work. I was at work and I said, "Oh, I want some suit jackets. I'm gonna go after work and go get some suit jackets." That's
but it's a
impulsive
red
spending.
flag because you be buying stuff that you don't need, and even your partner said you be buying too much stuff, and you do you be that's I don't know.
But all my bills are paid. I take care of myself. I pay my car note, my car insurance, my rent. All my stuff is done. I'm good. So I get to do what I want with my money because it's my money.
DeAndre says social media connects you to way too many people for you to respond to everyone. Yeah, social media can I don't know. Social media is a that's one of those things where I'm gonna keep one eye open, one eye closed. Larry said, I think the problem is when it comes to relationships, we have to be real about adult conversations about our wants, needs, and intentions. The communication has to be focused so there are no red flags. That's well said, man. Elijah said, how someone spend their money unless they're taking care of business and still set it up. But KJ, you're right. It's a red flag if they spend all your money up and then they ask you,
Yeah,
yeah,
of course.
because you put me in a situation like, damn, like now you just spent all your money on this, and now you constantly asking me for money. That's a turn off for me.
Yeah.
That's most definitely a turn off. Um, hold on, let me go back up here. So what's another besides finances? And see for me, what about
Kids.
what about kids in the beginning? Is that a red flag? Not for me. It just depends on how many you have now. If it's one, maybe two, I'm cool. But if it's three, four, mm-mm.
Any kids that's under the age of 18 for me is a red flag.
Wait. So you mean to tell me if you meet someone, great person, great career, great everything, if they have kids under 18, that's a red flag?
I would never talk to a woman ever. And my very first maybe 3 questions is about children. I don't like them. So I don't want to be bothered with them. That is a red
Wow.
flag. And that is, I don't care how beautiful she is. I don't care how much money she has. I don't care. I don't care. It's kids. I'm not dealing with it. Period. That's a no go. It's unacceptable. Draw the line.
Okay. What's the difference between a red flag and a deal breaker? Or you think they both one
But
and the
I think
same?
they both to
The
me.
same?
Well, no, really, because a red flag, some red flags can be fixed, like we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Spending money and not really knowing how to prioritize what's needed and what's not. Okay, that's a red flag, and you can fix it. Deal breaker is I'm not willing to bend at all under any circumstances. Doesn't matter who you are, what you're talking about. I'm not doing it.
Wow. So children, you wow.
Deal breaker. Deal breaker. And I'm dead on it. I'm not changing. I don't care who you are. I don't care how you feel. It's a deal breaker. And that's just that.
All right. DeAndre said communication and an open mind is key. I don't know about red flags, but a deal breaker, yeah. About the children.
Right.
But the money can be going towards the empire. That's what D said. I think that was the question where we asked. I think I don't know. Was that about the impulsive shopping or spending?
Oh.
Um, he DeAndre said, I think red flags are universal,
Yep.
deal breakers and personal.
Our personal. Yeah. Yeah.
So what if it's a person that likes to party? And I'm not talking about drugs because now I have an understanding that partying mean drugs. So I'm talking about hanging out, always want to hang out and about. Um, they're responsible, they go to work and everything, but they like to be out in the streets. Is that a red flag?
You may be a person who's out in the streets too and like to party and enjoy. So it may not be a red flag. That's
That's a
something
red flag to
personal
me.
to me.
That's a red flag. You got to always be doing something out in yeah, that's a red flag. That for me, that would be a red flag.
Well, people just like to they enjoy life. And then too, it depends on the age you are. How old this person is, because you have to think 10 years ago, what was we doing?
What we doing now? Still having fun.
No.
But no, because what you're saying is that you can't
We
have fun
party
when you
like
get older.
rock. Matter of fact, we don't even got to take it back 10 years ago. We could talk 3 years ago. When every night, every summer, I mean, we was out like wet clothes.
That's because you was looking for a baby.
No, I was not. You're a liar.
You was looking for love. That's why we was out like that.
No, you was looking for love.
And still ain't find it.
I got my baby.
That's because you went to another demographic and got it. You ain't finding here.
You are right about that. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, red flags, Detroit.
All
They
right.
need to, they need to put a big red instead of a mitten. They need to put a red flag.
Right.
Okay.
They need to be a red flag inside that mitten. Don't come here. Put a red flag. That mitten holding a red flag. Don't do nothing here in Michigan. Everything
Nothing.
red flag.
Okay.
The roads is
Uh,
red flag. The weather is red
the
flag. The
taxes is
people,
red flags. Okay.
the car
That's
auto
it.
insurance is red flags.
Oh God, yeah.
Man.
So
So
no.
listen, this brings us to the end of the show, guys. Shay, you want to leave the people with something? With a nugget. We always leave the people with something. What do you want to leave the people with?
Red flags are things that you personally have. Everyone's red flag isn't the same. Everyone isn't going to agree with what your red flags are and what your things, what's a breaker, what's not a breaker, what's a red flag, what's not a red flag. At the end of the day, you are the person that have to lay down with that person. You have to spend the rest of your life, hopefully, with that person. You're the person that's going to grow, build with this individual. So it's up to you to make those best decisions, and what's going to provide you what it is that you need from that individual. So love yourself first. Well, love God first, love yourself second, and be safe. Take them away, Bearded Chronicles.
Good, good. I'm gonna say ask those. Be vigilant in the beginning. Pay attention. Ask all of those pertinent questions in the beginning. So that you're not. You compare. You. I think if you ask certain questions and you pay attention to the writings on the wall, I mean, oftentimes a person don't have to say nothing if you just be vigilant and stuff, and just ask questions. Hey, do you like to do this? What's your opinion on that? Um, don't be so quick to look at a situation and you perceive it to be differently. Just take your time and yeah, trust your heart. Wait, hold on. What is it? Trust your heart. Trust your heart. Trust your gut. Um, and just have fun with it. But ask all of the questions in the beginning, and remember to always choose positivity over negativity. Gio and Sheena will be back next week. We missed them. We miss you
Yay!
guys.
Yeah.
So we pulled this off. Please, guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, please share this. And we appreciate all of the viewers. Thank you guys for the dialogue. As always,
Thank you, Elijah. Tell
yeah,
Elijah, thank
thank you,
you.
Dre. Thank you, D. I don't want to miss anybody. Thank you, Art. Thank
I
you,
can't see
everybody.
you.
We create a space where we can have these thought-provoking conversations that challenge each other and challenge us to think outside of the box. So we greatly appreciate you guys taking the time out every Wednesday for an hour to partake with us. Remember to wear your mask, and we love you. Until next time, be safe. Peace.
Wario mask. Bye, Elijah. I can only see Elijah.
Oh man.
Wario mask.